Well, hello and welcome to this new video where we are going to take a look at the performance of the RTX 2070 Maxq in Crysis 2, the remastered version. And we're starting at 1080p at the absolute highest settings without any ray tracing or DLSS enabled. And this is the first mission of the game, which should be pretty representative of what you could expect when you have this card throughout the game, because this is still a fairly demanding area in the first section. At least once we're getting outside it is. So let's take a look outside at New York City and find out how our FPS are gonna look like. And it is definitely looking not too shabby. So around 80 FPS, 80 to 90 FPS at the moment. Let's see if that's gonna change once we're dropping down from this building. But this is looking very great. Oh, we don't have any attachments yet. But I don't think we have to fear these guys either. I mean, what's the use of this great suit if we're not better than them? Alright, but yeah, this is very playable. So I think this is a good time to actually go and enable ray tracing here at very high, obviously. Oh, but that means our FPS definitely took quite a hit here right now. I mean, obviously still playable, but just not as smooth anymore. So I guess you will have to decide for yourself if you actually deem ray tracing worth to tank your FPS like that. But in my opinion, obviously we can still activate DLSS, and that will probably mitigate the impact the ray tracing has on our FPS. But fidelity wise, looking at how it looks, I don't even know if that's so much worth it in this game. And to be honest, you can't really see it in the FPS, but it feels just absolutely not smooth anymore compared to what we saw before without ray tracing enabled. So yeah, I really don't know if I would play like that. But yeah, let's just go ahead and enable DLSS for good measure to see how well that would perform now at the quality settings, because I don't really think it's worth it to go anything underneath quality, because quality basically looks like the real deal, at least to me, and performance and the other settings are just not that worth it compared to what you will see graphics wise. But yeah, we're back into the 60s at least, and it feels a lot smoother than before. So at least something where I would say this is now very playable again. And this guy with his aimbot, obviously, just trying to hide it right here. Alright, yeah. And I'm pretty sure at 1080p at least you are able to see when DLSS is activated, because it doesn't look as sharp anymore as it did before. So at least at 1080p, I don't really know, at least on this 32-inch monitor, if I would want to use DLSS as well. But the good thing is we don't have to. If we are not playing with ray tracing, which we can just disable right again, disable DLSS as well, and instead go and turn it up to 1440p now. Okay. So we're seeing around the same FPS we would have with DLSS and ray tracing enabled at 1080p. And I would most certainly choose a higher resolution over ray tracing, to be quite frank. Because now I can definitely see a difference in the graphics fidelity. So yeah, most certainly this is the way I would play it. And the second great thing is that obviously we can use DLSS again here, because now at 1440p it definitely will look pretty good, or at least it looks comparable to what the native resolution looks like. Let's get a quick silent kill here. Ha! Alright. And now we are off to New York City. But since we're already dropping in FPS right now, I think this would be a good time to activate DLSS. Alright, DLSS quality, and we're seeing a huge performance boost. And I think this is such a great thing with the 2070 Maxq, and this will definitely prolong its lifespan for at least a few more years, is that DLSS just looks fantastic at higher resolutions and gives you such an incredible performance boost as well. I mean, look at this. This is absolutely perfectly playable FPS wise, super fluid, and you really do not sacrifice graphics quality for that. At least not that I would actually notice it. And of course 1440p is demanding, at least obviously in this remastered version of Crysis 2. But we're in the inner city, there are a lot of effects going on around us, and it still looks great. Oh, and we are encountering some more enemies there. Which is good, because now, obviously, this game wants to show us how well our suit protects us from explosions. So let's see how explosions actually impact our performance. Dropping to the 60s, but that is nothing to be worried about. And generally speaking, still plays absolutely great. So yeah, let's advance a little further into the city. Now we have a little bit more of an open space here. A few NPCs. And it's still not dropping. So yeah, this is probably what you can expect to see throughout the game. Absolutely fine to play. No worries about that. And we're at 1440p at the highest settings. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, if you have a 2070 Maxq, you can absolutely enjoy this game at a high refresh rate and great fidelity.